Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tiger Talk. My name is Brad Jester. I am here with Jennifer Edwards, our Director of Distance Education. And today we are interviewing Mr. Adam Grubbs, who is the Program Coordinator for the Paralegal Studies program. Hello, Adam. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you, Brad?
Good, good. So tell us about the paralegal program.
Well, at Southern Crescent, the paralegal program has 3 courses of study. We have the certificate program that can be done in 2 semesters where you take a few gen ed courses and intro to law and ethics and criminal law and family law. And then we have the diploma program, which is 39 credit hours, and the degree program, which is 69 credit hours. And in both of those programs, you kind of take a general overview of different types of law, like real estate law, administrative law. And then the real difference besides the more classes is that in the degree program, the associate's degree, you have to do an internship and in your last semester. And so doing that internship a lot of times leads to a job at the place where you do that internship, or it kind of gets you out there and allows you to meet somebody and can get you in the direction of, the first job that you're going to get. So I think that is very helpful and a really great part of the degree program.
Okay, all right. So how is a paralegal's job a bit different than, say, a lawyer's job, an attorney's job?
All right, so pretty much what a paralegal does is a paralegal is someone who does substantive legal work and works under an attorney. So when I say substantive legal work, that means that you draft petitions, that you meet with clients, you work on, requests for production of documents and things like that. And, but your name at the end of the day is not on the bottom line. The attorney's name is on the bottom line. And so that substantive legal work is as opposed to somebody who is working at the firm who is answering the phone or doing the billing or things like that. However, of course, if you're working at a smaller firm where there's only 1 or 2 attorneys, if you're the paralegal, you may be doing all of those things. You may be doing substantive legal work and running the office. So, if you're the kind of person who is business minded, that might be the kind of thing that you would go for. If you are the person who is not very business minded, but you are smart and are interested in legal things, not that the other person's not smart, of course, but you know what I meant, then you might want to go work for a firm that has more attorneys with a larger support staff where you are just doing that substantive legal work.
Okay, all right. So what kind of job opportunities are out there for paralegals?
In the area that we are in, most of my students get jobs in around Henry, Spalding, and I have a fair amount of students that wind up getting jobs in Clayton too, and Fayette. And in those areas, there aren't that many large firms. Usually my students get jobs at firms that have, I would say, 10 or less attorneys. So they wind up mostly doing substantive legal work, but it's not so much of the grind that you would think of at like a firm in Atlanta that might have 600 attorneys. So the positive side to that is when you're working at a smaller firm like that, you really get a lot of face time with the attorney who is your boss. Y'all are working closely together. So a lot of my students who get jobs right out of the program, they really enjoy kind of the mentoring aspect of the time that they get to spend with their boss. So I would say they get jobs at firms with 1 to 10 attorneys usually in this
Okay.
area.
All right. So, starting salary and opportunities for promotion, how does that work
Well,
typically?
naturally, the closer you go to Atlanta, the higher the pay goes. The further
Sure.
away you get from Atlanta, the lower the pay goes.
Okay.
So, or most of my students, when they get a job, it's generally around $40,000 a year,
Okay.
um, and which is not a horrible starting salary. Um,
No, not at
and
all.
and a lot of times, what I've found, what they like about it is like, um, I'm just thinking of like my students who have gotten jobs recently, the past couple of semesters, is that they were previously working at jobs where they made comparable money, but they were driving an hour to do that. And
Right.
when you work for a law firm, you can find a firm in your town, whether it be Jackson or Griffin or McDonough or Jonesboro, and
Mhm.
um, and you are 10 minutes away. So that really like helps with their quality of life. So some students I've even had, they took a bit of a pay cut, like they were making 60 somewhere else, and now they're making 40. But the fact that they are at home by 5:30 is, there's a lot to be said for that, rather than
Oh,
driving to
absolutely.
Atlanta and being home at 6:30 or 7, you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And over time, that does have a huge cost in a lot of ways.
Right.
Um, just out of curiosity, is this a good path for anybody who wants to maybe perhaps become an attorney?
It
It's
is. I mean, I know a fair amount of attorneys who started out as paralegals. Um,
okay.
it it is, you know, you really get your feet wet and you learn what you like and what you don't like. When you and you also can kind of figure out like what kind of law you want to go in, because I think most people don't really, like, they think they know what kind of law they want to go in until they actually go into it, and then they
Sure.
realize this is not what I'm interested in all, you know, because there are people who could say, you know, I'm really interested in family law because I want to um, help protect women and children, but then they don't realize the emotional toll that that takes on them, you know. So after 6 months of that, they're like, you know what, I need to go to a real estate firm. I just need to do some closings because I can't handle the emotional cost of that. So
Sure.
about working as a paralegal, you do get to kind of like get your feet wet and say, okay, this is what I like, or this is seriously what I don't like.
Okay.
I have a question for you, Adam. What can students expect as far as class format is concerned? I mean, do you have morning classes, online classes, so forth?
Okay, as a general rule, we have I have morning classes and I have online classes.
Mhm.
Pretty much, you can almost do my entire program online. There are 12, if you're doing the degree program, you're going to have to do 12 credit hours in the class, in the classroom, face to face. But if you are not doing that program, then you aren't going to have that restriction. So you could do it all online. I do have, we have just started experimenting with evening classes this semester, and also evening classes at Henry. This is the first, this is this first semester that I've offered 2 classes on the Henry campus. So that is, so that the late in the evening, well, not late in the evening, but I have a 5:30 class at Henry, and then on Thursday, and a 10 a.m. class at Henry on Monday. So there's that option, but most of what you need to do, you can get done on, you can do it all online. It may take you a little bit longer because you have to wait until those classes come up online, but it can absolutely be done.
Okay. All right.
However,
So if anyone, oh, go ahead.
I would say, however, I don't necessarily recommend doing the whole thing online because we do have our classroom that is set up like a courtroom, and to take class in that room where we visually, like, if you're a visual learner, doing it that way, like sitting in a courtroom setting where you see, okay, here is the defendant, here is the prosecutor, here is the judge, here is the witness, kind of like being immersed in that space, I think is really helpful for the students. Because, you know, like if I'm teaching, you know, and I'm talking about the defendant, I'm always going to point that way, you know, because like I just see the defendant is right there, you know what I mean? And sitting in that classroom, you kind of get immersed in understanding that kind of thing.
Okay. So do you have mock trials then, or mock scenarios in that classroom as well?
In civil litigation, we I wouldn't exactly call it a mock trial, but we do go through the process. When we do civil litigation in class, we do go through the process of how these things are going to go through.
Okay. All right. Okay. So if anyone out there is interested in the Paralegal Studies program, I would get in contact with Mr. Grubbs here. Adam, could you tell us how students could contact you?
Yeah, my email is adam.grubbs, adam.grubbs@sctech.edu. You can email me that way, or you can call me in the time of COVID. I have just given out my cell phone number. So my number is 678-967-1417, and I will answer it. Sometimes I will answer it at 11 p.m. on Saturday night, which has occurred. But like, it is what it is. You know, I do what I do during this time. Because, I mean, let's face it, I ain't doing nothing. So that's it.
Well, thank you very much, Adam. And thank you for being here once again, Dr. Edwards. And again, we're going to sign off. This is Tiger Talk.
Okay, I have a problem. Oh, no, never mind.